Iron. Iron has an atomic number of 26 and an atomic mass of 56. Iron can be used for many things, such as iron supplements, construction, and pesticides. Iron supplements contain iron sulfate. Iron is a necessity for humans to be healthy, but an overdose of iron supplement can also be harmful. Iron phosphate can be used for pesticides to kill slugs or snails. It's a combination of iron, phosphorus, and oxygen. Iron phosphate is very poisonous to small creatures. In large amounts, it can also be poisonous towards humans. Construction. Iron is used in many different types of constructions, such as bridges and skyscrapers. It's the appropriate material to use because it's easy to shape with a certain heat temperature and is solidly strong. Iron ores are dumped into the blast furnace along with coke and limestone. A big fan on the left-hand side blows hot air into the blast furnace, which gives it heat. Through the process, in the air, coke and oxygen bond together to create carbon monoxide, which increases the heat. The carbon monoxide that is created from the coke and oxygen reaction is used to reduce the oxygen from the iron ore. Because of the high temperature, limestone, which contains calcium carbonate, breaks down to create calcium and carbon dioxide. The calcium monoxide from the previous reaction is used to react with silicon dioxide to create slag. The final product of iron goes through the same process of being released out of a hole. This picture is to show different types of irons and why they are different. Mining can potentially expose other harmful metals such as sulfur. An example is pyrites, which contains iron and sulfur. Exposed to water, it can form sulfuric acid that can pollute waterways. Economically, it's an advantage to extract iron ores because it's cheap. It costs around $56.20 per ton. During the process to collect the ores, forests have to be cleared to conduct the mining process. As you can see from this picture, you can see the contrast between cleared land and forest trees, which could also potentially be animal habitats. Also, by this picture, we can see the land scarring created. Mining is environmentally bad for the environment. There are companies and organizations that collect scrap ferrous metals such as SADOF and AEC. Most people can contact the company to pick up the scrap ferrous metal, while others have to drop their scrap ferrous metal at a certain drop-off place. Just like mine, and we were bound to. Magnets are used to detect the metal to separate it from other metals. And we were bound to the city light. It is then shredded in a shredder that has rotating magnetic drums that separate the iron from other different non-iron metals even further. After that, the pieces are released. It is then sent to the electric arc furnace. Scrap ferrous metal is dumped into the furnace along with lime and fluorspar, while oxygen is blown from the outside into the furnace. Oxygen is used to oxidize other elements mixed with the metal. Lime and fluorspar is used to help with creating the slag. The electric arc furnace uses electrodes to generate heat. When electricity passes through the electrodes, it creates an arc inside the furnace. The electric arc furnace is like a teapot. It is tilted backwards to release the slag through the inspection door, while the final product of steel is poured through this tapping spout. According to recyclingweek.planetarc.org, making steel cans from recycled material uses 75% less energy than producing them from raw materials. Recycling 1 kilogram of steel keeps 2 kilograms of greenhouse gases out of the atmosphere. According to Burr.org, steel recycling uses 74% less energy, 90% less raw materials, and 40% less water. It also produces 76% fewer water pollutants, 86% fewer air pollutants, and 97% less mining waste. The electrical arc furnace uses an enormous amount of electricity to work. It uses around 300 to 550 kilowatts per hour, and an average German pays 36 cents kilowatts per hour. So it costs around $108 to $198 to use the electrical arc furnace once. Economically, it doesn't cost much for using the electrical arc furnace once, but depending on the demands for the production of steel, it can be very pricey. Preparing and during the process of electrical arc furnace can cause a loss of sound to the workers. Steel's recycling rate is about 88%, as the other 12% is unrecyclable. If we recycle iron, it helps benefit the environment by saving trees and lessening the production of greenhouse gas. Compared to iron for mining the metal, lead isn't the most safest. Lead's extraction process is highly poisonous towards people who mine the metal. Some, during the mining, can get lead poisoning from the metal itself by breathing in the dust that contain the lead. Although both mining process creates pollution, I think the way lead is mined, the pollution impact affects more things negatively than iron, such as towards animal and plants, lead is toxic. Unlike iron, iron is not so toxic. The uses for iron and lead health-wise both have an impact on humans. Lead is used for X-ray sheets. This helps humans identify and be able to see things inside the human body to observe, learn, and understand what to fix. Iron, health-wise, can be consumed in small amounts. This helps humans stay healthy. Overall, both of these metals benefit humans widely as it helps our body either directly or indirectly. Whether the metal is sustainable or not, I believe depends on what aspect we're looking at. We have to consider the metals, the rarity of the metal, etc. Some metals can't be recycled a lot, so the need to extract it is higher. The Earth is a big planet, but because of the growing population, the demands and needs for a certain metal grows higher and the extraction rate is higher. As a result, the metal might not be sustainable because of the high demands to extract a lot. Although if we recycle and reuse the metal and reduce extraction, it might be possible the metal will be sustainable. Why? Because we're giving it time for the Earth to recreate and form the metals. Without recycling the metals, I don't think the metal will be sustainable. Overall, I think different types of metal have contributed to making a better world for us. We might not always be able to tell if it has greatly because some contribute in indirect and small ways. I think this way because all these metals have their own unique characteristics, such as iron for iron supplements. In a way, it makes a better world for us because it's medication that helps some of us to survive better in the world.